How's it going, everyone? This is the George here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Wonka. This is the 2023 Willy Wonka prequel, directed by Paul King, who is known for directing Paddington and Paddington 2, two movies considered to be some of the best live action family movies to come out in the last 10 years or so, especially Paddington 2. That movie is terrific. And this film stars Timothy Chalamet as Willy Wonka himself, who has been traveling and wants to sell his chocolate that he has made, but he finds himself in a bit of trouble. He signs a contract without reading it in full, and he owes a lot of money. So, with the help of some of the other people that also owe money in this place that he was staying at, they sell chocolate, but they got to deal with the chocolate cartel, which also involves Arthur Slugworth. That's right, we finally get to see Slugworth in this movie. And so we are introduced to our Willy Wonka prequel. So if you have watched this channel, you would know that I love the original 1971 Willy Wonka. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I even like the 2005 remake Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But a movie like this could easily fall, even with a very good director like Paul King. Because we've kind of seen this story before where someone tries to make a prequel or something based off a beloved movie or classic. We've seen Disney do this many times. And sometimes you get a good movie like Cruella, sometimes you get a messy movie. But with Wonka, I didn't get that vibe watching this movie. In fact, this movie definitely captures the fun and colorful playfulness of and joy of the 1971 movie. So it's easy to tell that this is most likely a prequel to the 1971 film. There it feels like there's some few significant differences, which if you watch the movie, you're probably gonna notice. Or you're gonna be like, how does this exist in that same universe? But for the most part, this is a movie that has many references to the 1971 film. There's even a couple I feel like to the 2005 film. For example, I mean, we've seen this isn't a spoiler. We've seen this in the trailers. One of the members of the chocolate cartel, he cannot say the word poor, similar to how Willy Wonka in the 2005 film cannot say parents. So that's a nice little Easter egg and reference right there. And I enjoyed the Easter eggs and references, but it knows how to also be its own movie. It's telling its own story about how Willy Wonka got started, the struggles that he went through to get to that chocolate factory, and his rivalry with Slugworth and all these other candy makers. And this movie also is touches upon family. Willy Wonka, he cherishes the moments that he spent with his mom before she passed away, and he wants to recapture that magic. Which obviously this is the complete opposite of the 2005 film, where we explore the strained relationship between Willy Wonka and his dad, who was a dentist. But I love that aspect of this movie where it explores Willy Wonka and the relationship with his mom, as well as Willy Wonka's relationship with this girl that he meets that is called Noodle. Oh, and how these two work together along with others to get this factory started. Overall, Timothy Chalamet, terrific as Willy Wonka. I mean, Gene Wilder's still my favorite Willy Wonka, but Timothy Chalamet does a very good job of capturing. Now, there's some moments where it's kind of hard to believe that this is going to be the Gene Wilder version because we know the Gene Wilder version gets very crazy in that movie. But at the same time, if you see the kind of people that Willy Wonka is meeting with in this movie and hoping, they fall more in line with who he would want to run his chocolate factory in the future, someone similar to Charlie Bucket. Like the girl in this movie, Noodle, reminded me of Charlie Bucket at times, but obviously she's had a harsher life than Charlie. I must say the young actress that plays this character, I think her name is Calla Lane. She does a very good job playing this character as well. Patterson Joseph plays Arthur Slugworth, the rival of Willy Wonka. We've heard about Slugworth many times in the previous movies. We even had that story arc where someone was pretending to be Slugworth in the original, and I would say Patterson Joseph as Slugworth was very entertaining. The villains in this movie, they're very entertaining. They're very goofy, but they fall in line with how you would imagine the rivals of Willy Wonka to be. They're very jealous of his work. They go to some extremes that I thought were a bit off at times with the film's tone. It's not that I mind it. I don't mind the lengths that they go to, like for story, but it just kind of felt like with how goofy these villains were portrayed. Sometimes it felt a bit out of character when they did something very extreme. Hugh Grant plays this Oompa named Lofty that we've seen in the trailers, and Hugh Grant does a very good job. But don't expect a whole lot of him in this movie. But yeah, he's more in line with the Oompa Loompas that we see in the 1971 movie. Visually, I think this movie was pretty good visually. Looks visually better than a lot of the movies that have higher budgets than this movie, which is a noticeable trend that I'm seeing with some movies. But I mean, the visuals here seem better than the visuals in some Marvel movies that have come out in the last couple years or so. But the thing I love about this movie is that it does capture the heart and feels of the 1971 film, where at the end of the movie, you can't help but have a big smile on your face. A movie about having your dreams come true, trying to make your dreams come true. I enjoy stuff like that. The songs were really fun and uplifting in this movie. As far as negatives in this movie, the third act of the film gets pretty predictable. It gets into like, oh, we gotta sneak into the lair kind of business, which doesn't make the movie bad. It just kind of takes the, I guess in Willy Wonka terms, that unique flavor that the movie was starting to have. It just kind of felt a bit off at times. As I said, some of the ways the antagonists tried taking care of Willy Wonka didn't kind of fit with the tone that was established with these characters. It's just like all of a sudden, oh, we're gonna try to do this to Willy Wonka. It's like, oh wow, that's kind of a bit dark for this movie. Again, I don't mind dark movies, but it's just with the tone that the movie set up, it just kind of felt a bit more extreme than I thought, especially because essentially characters like Slugworth are going to be Willy Wonka's rivals, and it's established in the other two movies that Willy Wonka, once he gets to that point of being so popular, Slugworth and all the other candy makers are going to send spies. I mean, I can believe that these versions of Slugworth and these candy makers would do that in the future, but just like with like what they were doing beforehand, I don't know like how that's going to be possible in this universe. They're going to have to make significant differences. Says if let's just say they ever make a sequel to this movie and they base it off the original book. I don't think they're going to do that because again, this feels more like a prequel to the 1971 film. But even still, if this is a prequel to the 1971 film, it's hard to believe that in this universe, where Slugworth does the extreme stuff in the 1971 universe. I don't know, just certain things that kind of felt a bit off, in my opinion. But overall, this was a fun movie. Great visuals. I love the characters. I enjoyed the performances. No, the performances land though. Some of the side characters, the performances are okay, but nothing special. Like these two people that kind of force Wonka and these others to work for them because they owe them money because they didn't read the full contract. Track their performances, their characters, it's like very cringy. But for the most part, the main performances of the movie were very good. The songs were very good. The plot until the third act, I thought, worked very well. But yeah, Wonka was a pretty big surprise in my opinion. I wasn't expecting a huge amount from this movie, but this movie, while it sounds good as the original, manages to capture some of that flavor from the original. And I'm gonna give Wonka a B plus. This is a movie that I think that families are going to enjoy. I think if you're a fan of the original Willy Wonka, at least the 1971 film, so maybe not the 2005 film, I think you're going to enjoy this movie. But yeah, Wonka, what are your thoughts on it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And what's one of your favorite prequel movies to come out? Let me know in the comments down below. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share this with someone that loves Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book, the 1971 Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and even the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.